1, 2.
The only thing I'm missing on this phone is the ability to properly multitask and a proper file system and a proper way to control all your volumes. There's actually quite a bit missing, but listen, I'm here because as an Android user, more specifically a One UI user, I've very much set this up in a way that it makes iOS make sense. Check this out, okay? You won't believe it. My lock screen wallpaper. I actually found this on X, and I can't find the account I downloaded it from, but listen, from the age of 7, I've been supporting Brazil every single time, and I also have family there. So I've paired this with the day of the week, the date, and also the weather, because a lot of the time, this is what I want to see when glancing at my phone quickly. Then comes the widgets on my lock screen. So for me, the ones that I want to quickly have access to usually tend to be the stocks. So I tend to just take a look at the stock market, what it's currently doing. And then I also have ChatGPT voice. Check this out.
Huh?
Oh, okay, it doesn't do anything. Usually it says hi and stuff. And then I have Notion, which, by the way, Notion for me is so good because it's what I use as the system that currently helps me run the business. But really, the most useful app I have set up within my lock screen is the August app. And that I've set up with the help of the Shortcuts app. Now I can open it right here, and you will see that August for me is what controls all my locks within some of my real estate properties. The office, home, the condo, and so on. I love these locks actually because of their ability to be controlled through this app, and they also provide useful features like auto lock and unlock based on a timer and geolocation, and it's super easy to share with friends and families. To be honest, for the most part, it is a very reliable lock. However, I've had one lock that lasted for 3 years, and after 3 years, it was pretty much done. I couldn't repair it. And then when I'm not using any of this, okay, and when I'm not using the camera app, right, well, I tend to go right ahead and unlock my phone to access my home screen. Shout out to Joshua Chang. I love the way he laid out his icons, so I kind of just copied him. I watched his video as I was coming back from WWDC since I had then just recently switched from Android to iOS, and I really liked his layout. So here is mine. These are the most useful apps that allow me to run my life. I am praying though that soon enough, when we open the dealer in a couple of years, we'll be adding the wholesale app to buy and sell cars. That does mean though that you guys have to subscribe to the channel so we can hit 1 million subscribers and potentially grow that business. Anyways, my home screen wallpaper is actually from Olier. It's called 3D Palette. That's what it's called. And I've actually gone ahead and added a little bit of a blur into the wallpaper. So that's actually very nice. If I click here, I go to edit wallpaper, you guys will see I have this blur going on. So I like that. I click done, and I also have my icons completely modified. If I go into customize, I have this clear thing going on. I can choose dark if I want to, but I like the clear, and it's pretty much set on auto. It kind of matches the aesthetic of my wallpaper, and I've actually gone ahead and eliminated the names of each app because I don't need it. Now with iOS 27, you can actually go ahead and modify the transparency of your liquid glass. So if you actually head to settings, you can just go ahead and type right here, liquid glass, and then you can go ahead and modify that appearance right here. I like it to be super transparent because I actually enjoy liquid glass, so this is the way I've been just keeping it. And then, believe it or not, I actually went ahead and removed the phone app from the dock because, to be honest, if I'm going to call someone, I'm either probably already texting them so I can do it through the text app, or I'm looking at their phone number online, so I don't need to bother with it, right? I also love that iOS 27 keeps Apple's new full screen shot preview, so it makes it much faster to tweak your screenshots right away. I actually really like that. It's very much like Android. However, you can go ahead and disable this if you want to. You can head to settings, and then if you type preview right here, you can very much search for that right here, full screen previews. you can enable it, disable it, disable it, whatever you guys want. And then I've actually moved all my widgets. You know what? I've actually made a dedicated widgets page, which is you swipe left, and there are all the widgets I usually use. Right now, my Uber widget is actually bugging, but I guess that's good because my address is right there. But the widget that I tend to use the most is the ChatGPT widget. I use it all the time. If I need to search something quickly, I use ChatGPT. Then I usually like to take a look at my devices connected and their battery life. Of course, I've got Uber that's currently bugging. And then I have my weekly agenda with Notion, which I use all the freaking time. And then I have my Google Drive, which for me, pretty much has replaced iCloud for years now. And I use it in order to scan receipts, believe it or not. And I've been able to do this thanks to the new shortcut app. I was able to easily describe what type of shortcut I wanted in order to create a shortcut that would allow me to open a specific folder within my Google Drives. So every time I open this app, I can scan all my receipts for accounting. So that's really cool. Android offers having a direct Google Drive folder available within your home screen, but with iOS, you kind of have to jump through these hoops. However, I love this new shortcut app. It's actually so freaking good. And then comes my last page. My last page is super simple. I have the settings app available right there. And then I have a folder for my finance. I have a folder for Netflix, TSN, Prime Video, all my streaming services, Uber Eats, travel services. I also have Amazon, the receipts that I just showed you, Cursor, Files, Google Health, and even Realities. And I'll talk about these in a bit, because if I slide down right here, man, do I wish this was like Android. And what I mean about that is that with Android, you can actually slide down and have your control center and notifications in one single page. I feel like iOS 27 should have definitely introduced that. But really, my control center is actually so simple, and for the most part, there are two toggles that I use the most aside from the brightness, but that's focus and also hotspot. And I tend to use hotspot quite a lot because I'm usually on the go and I'm usually using local send, and sometimes I want to be within the same network in order to transfer files from one device to the other. So yeah, local send is the app that replaces AirDrop for me. You see, Local Send is an app that lives within my home screen. This is what I use to copy and paste from one device to another, regardless of the OS. I use it a lot to transfer images and files, like I said, and as long as you're connected to the same network, well, this can be done. This is why when I don't have Wi-Fi, I can hotspot my devices in order to make that transfer happen. The only downside, of the app is that when you are in a plane, well, it won't work unless you're connected to the plane's Wi-Fi. But the upside is that, well, this app is actually open source and it's free to use. It actually works super well with Windows and Linux, and well, really, this helps me replace my Apple ecosystem because now I'm currently on that Google ecosystem. Where Chrome for me actually replaces a Safari. And because I have and use Chrome on all of my devices, right, including my Linux laptop, I get to keep my bookmarks, my extensions, my passwords, search history, and so on. And then aside from this, well, I tend to use the Google Keep app instead of Notes. I just love the fact that with Google Keep, I get to sync all my notes across any device I get to use. And of course, with that comes Google Photos, which allows me to sync all my photos no matter which phone I'm using. But the best one is Image because, well, I need to reset this up. I'm actually currently using Cursor to make some changes to my server where it will allow me to properly set up my storage and get rid of some apps I no longer need for the server. In fact, Cursor is the app I currently use to manage my own home lab. You see, when I was in San Francisco for WWDC, where thousands of developers, creators, and Apple fans from all over the world gather around a single ecosystem, I realized that the companies that succeed aren't always the ones with like the best technology. They're the ones that become part of your daily life, your daily routine, right? Here's Cursor, an app that works so well on iOS. During WWDC, turns out that I wasn't sitting behind a desk all day, right? I was walking around Apple Park, filming, meeting developers, grabbing snacks, trying to experience the event. But at the same time, I still had projects back in the studio that needed attention. Usually what I do is that I look for a spot, open my laptop, solve whatever needs to be solved. But now I can pull out my phone, open cursor, check on my agents, review progress, leave instructions, and keep everything just moving forward. While announcements were happening at WWDC, work was still happening in the background. And honestly, that's what impressed me the most. It's not that it can write code, but it's that I don't necessarily need to be glued to my desk anymore. I can stay present, focus on what I'm doing, and then come back later to see how far the project has progressed. You can connect your repos, access your workspaces, add context to your prompts, and manage projects directly from your phone. It's one of those tools that quietly becomes part of your workflow before you even realize it. But yeah, Image allows me to use my own local storage and save my entire photo library to make sure I don't depend on the cloud. It works so well. It's actually available on iOS and Android, and it's what I actually recommend to most people. Like, I recommend you try to build a little server or use a laptop with a lot of terabytes of storage in order for you to make sure that you can save your photos, your videos, like all your memories at home, locally, and not on a cloud that you need to pay a membership every month for, right? Now, within my home screen, okay, on top, I've got Notion and Superhuman. Notion, guys, really does deserve its own video because I use it to manage everything. My weekly schedule, my calendar, my payouts, my recurring payments. I've set up a pretty complex database within Notion that really allows me to run the business in such a good way, and I can keep track of everything, even in sync with my accountant. With this, I use Superhuman as my emailing app. I've used this app, guys, ever since they sponsored us like 4 years ago. I've been in love with it. I've carefully developed this obsession with learning all the keyboard shortcuts this offers. It makes like processing email dramatically faster. I'm not even kidding, okay? With the help of the keyboard shortcuts. And the interface actually helps you get through emails so much faster than Gmail. I mean, Gmail just completely sucks in my opinion. I'm not a fan of Gmail at all. This is so clean. I use labels a lot to sort my emails, and it helps me get through it all. And then, well, the rest, I have Waze, and we all know why I use Waze. I mean, first of all, for cops, it's amazing. Waze is always number one. And second, because Montreal has horrible roads, it actually lets you know when potholes are coming ahead. So that's amazing. But yeah, we've got Waze. I prefer Waze over Google Maps and over Maps. It's just so much better. Then next to it, we have X. We have also TikTok. We have Instagram, YouTube Studio, and YouTube itself. These are actually all apps I use because, well, I create content for a living. And believe it or not, I actually find myself copying and pasting for either captions, memes I saw online, or things I just want to keep track of, right? And there's a lot of stuff I kind of want to keep track of. Well, with the Google Keyboard on Android, I was able to have a proper clipboard history, which I don't understand why iOS 27 didn't implement that. But let me show you something right here, okay? Here is a paste. Paste is the way that I make that exact same workflow happen. However, it now lives on iOS. And sadly, the thing that I hate the most about the iOS ecosystem is that a lot of the cool apps that they offer are behind a paywall. But really, having the ability to have a proper clipboard history, whether it's images, text, links, and whatever comes to mind, well, I guess doesn't come free, and I kinda am okay with paying for it. But I really like this app, I really do, okay? Because it's able to sort clipboards really well, to the point that you can create different pinboards and organize it all. And I like that the clipboard history stays indefinitely. I absolutely love it. It's accessible right here, and you have all your entire clipboard history and different pinboards. Once you create those, it's great. It's really good. Now, to be transparent with you guys, the only reason I actually don't want to go back to Android is because of this, okay? The camera app. And the social media workflow on iOS, I mean, it's so much more superior. Now, camera specs on iPhone, they suck. They really suck, like hardware wise and even post-processing wise. A phone like the Find X9 Ultra is much better, okay? However, Instagram loves iOS and it loves the camera app from iOS. Now, without getting into too much details, all you need to know is that it's much easier to make the camera look good on iOS compared to Android for social media. Because of this, Instagram has evolved its own recognizable iPhone photography style. And while posting stories or even carousel pictures, you can tell that the engagement is so much higher on iOS, and the pictures, well, they genuinely look really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look, you have guys like Siobhan using iPhone pictures within campaigns for brands like BMW. I mean, it just works, guys. And really, it's as simple as opening your camera app and adjusting the exposure to either minus 0.7 to minus 1.3, depending on the lighting conditions, really. This is what creates that Batman look within many of these pictures. The camera app within iOS 27, by the way, is now quite different. I think this is a much better layout where you can scroll through camera modes, right? You can scroll through all these camera modes, so that's cool, very much like Android. The camera features menu right here. Let me just go back to photo. Camera features menu right here is a lot more complete. There's quite a few options that weren't here before. You have the grid, the leveler. You can now go ahead and change the format right here right away, so that's super awesome. I know that these things can also be done right here on top, but I just kind of find this to be super clean. I really like this. I think they've pretty much like perfected it in my opinion. And then, well, my wearables. My wearables consist of these two little apps right here, Google Health app and the Even Realities app. I will say, okay, as someone that's just recently ditched Whoop for the Fitbit Air, I love the widget dashboard Whoop delivers with their app. It's definitely something I would love to see Fitbit do. I kind of really like that about Whoop. But I mean, recently I made this whole Fitbit video where I used both Whoop and Fitbit. I compared them, and man, Fitbit is just clean, and it's what you and I, okay, the average athletic person, it's what we need. I actually love the Fitbit app because it's so damn simple. I mean, you know, you can look at today, what's going on today. It's super nice. The data is available right here, right away. There's no complex graphs or anything like that. You got fitness to start a workout and so on. You got your sleep tracking, which I'll talk about in a bit actually. The health, you know, it's super good. And I love the Ask Coach feature. I mean, I use it to, you know, tell it a bit about myself, about my day. I use it to also log in calories. I take pictures of my meals and just keep up with my intake in terms of liquids, and I love it. It's actually really good, it's simple, and it just works for me. But I do want to point out, okay, that sleep tracking is definitely not as accurate as Whoop, and there's no stress tracker, which for me is a bummer. But I came to the conclusion, guys, that I can live without it. It's not the end of the world. Again, if you guys really want to know more, and you guys want to know a bit about Fitbit versus Whoop, just go watch the video. I made it a few weeks ago. I think it's a really good video, and it's got plenty of information in it. Anyways, that said, the last one, Even Realities. This for me, guys, has been such a game changer, but I do hate the fact that it logs me out every freaking time. Like every couple of days, it just logs me out of my account. Even Realities, if you guys are watching this, please fix that. Anyways, look, I really love these glasses, okay? I really do, okay? These glasses, let me just put these on. They should be able to connect right away if they're charged, because they were charging. They're dead because I use them all the freaking time. Okay, listen, so the way that I use these glasses, okay? When I know that like I won't have access to my phone, or I can't really be using my phone, a lot of times they come in clutch, okay? In places like airports, while running from one terminal to another, or while doing work. Really, they are so freaking good because I don't need to pick up my phone and get distracted. And then, well, I use the app a lot for when I go to events. And the way that I use the app is actually super clutch, okay? When I was at the WWDC, you know, like they spill a bunch of information out, like it doesn't stop. They're presenting a bunch of features. It's just like very overwhelming. But sometimes it's so much that I just can't type it all. But what I do is that I enable the conversational mode with this, and it keeps track of everything that is like being said through the glasses. And then, well, later on, I just open the app and take a look at what was said, and it summarizes everything. It breaks it down, and it even has like an entire script written down of what was said during the event. I actually really like it. Listen, what I'll leave you with is that I do think that Spotify is much more superior to Apple Music. I'll leave you guys with that. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want you guys to burn me in the comment section, but I really do think Spotify is better. That's just what I think. That said, my desk setup that I'm currently looking at, my new desk setup, is almost fully complete, and that's going to be next week's video. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys liked this video regarding my home screen setup and what's on my iPhone. I think as an Android user, well, I will be going back to Android, but anyways, that's for another video.